Probably most of you are aware that this week, Jim Scott and I lost a very good friend, John Whitehead. John Whitehead was a legend at Stateline and Erie Speedway. In 1965, as a rookie in the late model division, he was the point champ at Stateline, the point champ at Erie, and obviously the circuit point champ as well. The following year, in 1966, John was the champ again in late models at Erie. In 1975, John Whitehead was the sportsman and circuit point champ. John won over 20 late model races and over 20 sportsman races during his career. Only 7 people in the history of our tracks have been able to win more than 20 races in both those two divisions. Jim raced against John, and I know Jim would like to say a few words.
Yeah, John was a good friend. He was a tough competitor. He reminds you a little bit of Kyle Busch. You didn't want John behind you going to the checkered flag. He's a little bit like Tom Dill. He's the only guy that ever spun me out 3 times in one race. And when I broke my back in '70, we put John in the Mustang, and John made it good. I mean, he run that car just as good as I could, maybe better. And John and I go clear back to the Roll Bowl. And we bent fenders back then. We ran together for years and years. John was a good friend. But he was a tough competitor. And he run Russ's stuff, done really, really well with it. And he ran my car, he done really well with that. And man, they're all gone, you know. There's not that many of us left anymore. And we're going to miss John.
John's daughter, Carla, is over here on the side, and his son-in-law is here as well. And remember John Whitehead. Drive on, flying farmer, drive on.
My dream was to race at Stateline and Erie's with who I thought were the best drivers. I think that Stateline had some of the best cars and drivers of any of the tracks around there, because their cars that would finish 3rd and 4th at Stateline could go someplace else and win the race.
Oh, you were always known as the Flying Farmer, and
pretty much.
And that was why was that?
I was a dairy farmer.
So a dairy farmer?
I had 39 cows when I first started driving for Russ Thompson.
Is that right? Would be in that top tier of racers.
Well, Squirt Johns, right. And I think at the last meeting I told you that Ronnie Blackmare was the cleanest winning driver. Right. And that next weekend he brought me up a 30-pack of beer.
Did he really?
Yes. And I said, well, that's something you said. I said, what the heck did I say? I can't remember. I'd say it again. He said, you ain't getting another one. Used to Bobby Snars and we'd start the tail end of the heat race, and we'd both run hard for a few laps, but if you couldn't get up in the money, then we put on a little race to the back of the pack to see who could come in last, and then he'd get the start ahead in the in the semifinal. And that gal down Snars, he'd always wind up, we raced, we'd be back and forth. Yeah. And one night I said, I'm going to finish behind you. That son of a gun pulled in the pits. The last lap, he's still finished behind me.
In the pits. I love it.
If you hit Tommy Diller, there's a pretty good chance he would get hit back. And he could do it.
Was he that good?
Yes, he was very good.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. Well, Tommy was at the racetrack a few weeks later, and he had his bag with him. George says, Tommy's looking for a ride, and he was going to the late models. And he says, you're going for a ride. Because that's what Tommy wants. He wants to drive a car. And he says, he'll get you. Then he'll be happy. It'll be all over with.
You just wanted to even the score.
Well, I didn't spin him out. Oh, yeah, I did that right out there. Yeah, I see him put his suit on. I knew he had a ride, and I see what car he was in. He missed me the first time, but he didn't miss me the second time. George says, he's all right now. He did what he wanted to do. That's all over. He won't bother you anymore. I shouldn't have told you the truth a few times. I should have said something the public would like.
Truth isn't always bad, you know. Tom Dill gave us some stories also.
A lot of his stories aren't going on the camera.
No.